My first memories of the river are from a car, speeding along Storrow Drive when I was, 5 or 6. You don't go in the river, it's dirty. That's what I've always thought. That's what I grew up thinking. The river wasn't for going in, it was for going over, it was for going along.
The function of the Charles River today, I think, is to allow a place for people to enjoy themselves, to boat, to look at it, to ride next to, stuff like that.
Well, when I was growing up, you weren't supposed to go into the river. It was just common knowledge. It was really unsafe to swim in.
The Charles is definitely not a swimming river, but I love to go biking along it, and there's great paths for walking, and it's fun to go boating, but I wouldn't swim in it.
But sometimes I hear that it's better, it's cleaner, but I don't really know. I mean, I think it's maybe okay to swim in.
Yes, yeah, about 50 degrees. Okay, we got some room to get here safely through the boats.
The volunteer sampling is really sort of the core baseline background and backbone set of information for all the water quality in the Charles. They go out once a month to 35 different sites. They go out at 6 a.m. the same day to all of these different sites and collect their data.
Just put the sample in the ice, preserve the sample. Good, bring that over to the office.
They collect them from this site and all the other sites. Not everyone gets collected here. There's another remote location.
Is there another drop-off? Yeah.
And they run them over to the lab about 10 a.m. So they all get that processed and analyzed the same day.
Gets poured into the tray. There's a couple of fluorescing wells in this one.
They process all the samples and they send us back a report several weeks after the sampling has occurred. In dry weather, the river has really cleaned up significantly and now meets the standards for swimming in most locations, most of the time, in dry weather conditions. Unfortunately, in the Charles, because we have all these dams, we're left with the legacy of a lot of that chemical pollution in the sediments. There's still lead and arsenic and cadmium, there's still radioactive materials, there's still all kinds of pollutants in the sludge in the bottom of the river. It is a big issue when we start thinking about things like swimming in the Charles. You don't want people being able to sort of walk and churn around in that contaminated sediment and stir that material back up. When it has rained, especially when it's rained heavily, the river still violates the standards for water quality. If you think of the whole watershed, rain falls, it hits the urban environment, it runs off of people's rooftops, people's driveways, people's parking lots, the whole sort of urban setting. It's just everything you can think of, all the stuff people dump down the drain, the coffee that they throw out of their car window, the cigarette butts that they toss on the ground, all that gets washed off by the rain and goes right out into the river. And so that's the main source of pollution to the river in wet weather conditions. And there's a lot of it.
How many days has it been raining for?
3.
Do you realize that when it's raining, it's the worst time to go swimming in the river?
Why? Because the water's moving faster?
No, because everything from land washes in.
Oh, whatever, it's fine.
That might be the case, but it just makes it more hardcore. You know what I'm saying?